was probably around 71 or 72. I was just a little kid. My parents were visiting my grandparents' place, and I don't know, they were playing cards or something. For some reason, they left the TV on, and the movie just happened to be Bullitt, of all movies. And it just kind of stuck with me. And truth be told, I don't think I saw that movie again until probably sometime in the 90s or early 2000s.
Oh, really?
Right. So I just remember watching as a kid, and kind of getting a little sick watching on my grandmother's little console TV. And
Yeah, I know. Doesn't do the movie justice.
No, it doesn't. But as a little kid, it's like, wow, this is the coolest thing.
Right. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. This guy's driving like crazy.
There really wasn't anything like it at the time.
No, there really wasn't.
I think you said it was 71.
Yeah, it was around 71 or 72. It was on, it was on regular TV.
Right. I believe that was around the same time Gone in 60 Seconds came out with.
Yeah, the original one,
yeah,
which was the better of the two, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool car. I mean, that was.
That wasn't it.
Talk about car chases.
Right.
That was the best by far.
Yeah.
Everybody says Bullitt and everything like that, but Gone in 60 Seconds, that was awesome. All right, Alex. Well, here's the storage chamber for all the vehicles. Right. Everything from my 68 to my 71 to both of the Bullitts. This has a lot of tributes that came straight from the factory, including something that you won't see down south here because it's a northern car. It's a block heater for the engine because this car was purchased in Wisconsin, and all the northern Midwest cars got block heaters in them. Not that I know many people that drove their Bullitts in the wintertime.
Nope.
But, just in case you had to start it. So I just kind of leave it hanging out there right now. So I've done some work to this over the years. The first thing I did was put on 18-inch wheels on it. Put an aftermarket shifter in. No, these are not factory wheels.
They look pretty similar, just a little bigger.
They do, yeah. And I put a different shifter in it. I put in a Hurst shifter with a tall boy handle on it. Put a different cold air intake in this, and I put 373s in.
Oh, okay.
The gears that were under 327s, and at the track, they just didn't cut it. And I want some more oomph on it, and the gears really made a huge difference.
Where do you usually take it to? What track?
Around here, I have not been to a track yet, but over the years, I've taken it from some tracks in Wisconsin, Ohio, around that area when I lived up there. Down here, I have not brought it to a track yet, though.
Okay. Do you test the quarter-mile times, or what kind of?
Quarter-mile times.
Yeah?
Yes.
And what was the fastest you were able to get it?
Like I said, these are kind of slow. My V6 is probably quicker than this, but
probably.
I want to say I was in the low 13s is the best time, maybe high 12s.
Not too shabby for 2000.
Maybe high 12s. Yeah, it's not that quick.
No.
Now I know some guys who've built their Bullitts.
Quickish.
It's quickish, right? Mm-hmm. I know some guys who built their Bullitts and they're probably in the 11s and maybe one in the 10s that I know of, or two are in the 10s. But they're really not street drivable cars anymore by that point.
I wouldn't think so. No.
Right. So I mean, it's a fun car. It's like I said, when we first got together, it was all about the cars when we first got to know each other, and now it's more about the people. It's just a big family, and
definitely.
we all get along pretty well. There's a few that are outliers, but
that's every community.
It's every community, it's every group, but for the most part, it's a great group of people.
Very cool.
It really is.
All right, and the 68 here.
And the 68.
What's the deal with this one?
68 was a fellow Bullitt owner owned this car, and it wasn't just any Bullitt owner. It was a very good friend of mine, someone who I consider a brother. And Dan owned this car for quite a few years, and I always kind of lusted after this car. And he had fought with cancer for years and years.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we moved down here. He's lived in Texas at the time, just a couple hours north of here. And we moved down here, in about 3 or 4 months after we moved down here, he passed away.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, it is too soon. He wasn't that old of a guy. He was 62, 63, somewhere around there. I forget exactly what Dan was. But anyways, I talked to his son, and I says, what's the plan with all the cars? Because Dan had 6 Mustangs sitting on the property.
That's a couple.
Yeah, and I knew he and his mom Molly didn't want to deal with that many cars around. So I got talking with Josh, and I says, is this something that you guys want to sell? And he says, actually, my dad wants Bullitt owners, his brothers, to own his cars if possible.
Naturally.
So they made me an offer, and I couldn't turn it down, and I didn't need another car, but here it is.
Yeah.
And it's great because whenever I take it for a drive, my wife and I think of Dan. So
Oh yeah, great.
it's you know, it's sentimental reasons. Another one of the brothers bought his car, his 65 that he had, and that was a 65 GT actually. And Paul has it up in Canada now, and he brought it to a body shop, and they totally stripped it down and totally redid everything on it. The car's like a brand new car.
Oh wow.
Still drives like a tractor, Paul says, but those old cars, you know, with the not disc brakes, they were all drum brakes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They weren't the greatest in the world, but
do you
so
have
a
any
couple of
plans
us.
of restoring this one?
My plan right now, Dan did a lot of work to the interior on it. Prior to him getting it, the engine had been rebuilt. The tranny has a shift kit in it. And Dan had pulled off the vinyl top off of it, and that was the last thing he had done to it. So I'm right now in the process of sanding it down, sanding the glue down on the top to the primer. And I'm going to fix all the issues, and we're going to put a vinyl top on it, back on it. But we're going to leave the car pretty much as is, the body as is. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it looks great the way it is. A few dings here and there.
It has a few dings, and things aren't perfect on it, but you know what? It's a fun car to have.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Got
loud and
character.
mean, and it's loud and mean too,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
which makes it all the better.
All right. Can
So
we hear
that's-
it?
We can. It's a little temperamental at times. We can fire it up in a little bit.
All right. Let's give it a shot.
All right. Well, let me go grab the keys here and see if she'll start.
Come on, baby.
As I said, it won't start right away, but it'll start. That sounds pretty good, pretty healthy. So we all, got together because of the car, but it's the people that has maintained over all the years. I mean, a lot of people have gotten rid of their cars, and maybe they got a newer Bullitt, or they don't even have a Bullitt anymore, but they stay with us because we're all like a big family now. We've got to know each other that well. We've seen each other's kids grow up. Some are getting married now. Some are having kids themselves. It's kind of weird, but it's all because of a car.
That's just amazing how the car can do that. I mean,
Right.
you take cars, which is just one of the greatest hobbies in America, and then you streamline that down to Mustangs, which is arguably the biggest and most involved fan base of any car.
Right.
And you streamline that even more down to the Bullets,
Right.
and you've got yourself just a nice little family.
You really do, and
really
it's kind of weird because we're all pretty similar too, in what our likes are and what we do. It's just kind of an odd thing.
It's just easy getting along, huh?
It really is. It's I said it before. It's like a family reunion when you all get together, but we all like each other, so it's even better.
So it's a little different.
So it's even better,
In a good way.
Right, in a good way. So yeah.
That's great. So do you get a lot of, as far as looking on the inbox pages and stuff, do you notice any like female enthusiasts or younger audiences as well?
We definitely have females on there.
Yeah.
Several women. Not as many as the guys, obviously.
Of course.
But a lot of younger people, too, are getting into it. And a lot of
That's
younger
good.
people are buying the 01s because they're cheap now. They're
Oh, yeah.
pretty inexpensive,
I
right?
know I got my eyes on a 01 for my next car.
And do you? And then the 08s even are coming down in price quite a bit.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one personally. I love them.
I've driven it and I like them a lot,
Yeah.
but I have a 2012 that is almost more fun than the Bullitt. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
sorry guys.
And the 2012 you have there was just a V6, right?
It is a V6, but it has 305 horsepower and it's a performance pack, and it's a Mustang Club America car. And it's what Ford called their Mayhem Edition.
Mhm.
So it's got a lot of great upgrades, and it's a fun car right off the showroom
Oh,
floor.
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and that too I ordered. And I ordered that really kind of custom. It's so much different than any other Mayhem Edition because it has a Boss 302 spoiler deflector on the back. So if you look at the back, it's from a Boss 302.
Huh.
And when I ordered it, they're like, it won't fit. I'm like, it'll fit. And they're like, no, it won't fit. I'm like, no, I'm an engineer. It'll fit. This is how they design this stuff. And when I went to pick it up, they're like, you know what, it fit. I'm like, really? Imagine that.
Told you so.
Yeah, told you so. Yeah, it's just kind of a unassuming car for the most part. And that's what I like about it. And I guess that's what drew me to the Bullitt too, was kind of an unassuming, simple car. It just looks like a regular Mustang. And as you guys found out on the cruise we took, it's not just a regular Mustang.
Well, Jeff, I really appreciate you.
Anytime, Alex.
Awesome.
I'm glad I called you. That was good. Very good. All
See you
right.
around.
Definitely. Very good.